One early morning in Manchester, I'm setting up for a PMVA training session before anyone else arrives. And the door opens, and in comes this man that looks like he was sculpted out of granite. His arms are as thick as tree trunks. He looks around and says, "Is this where they're doing restraint training?" I look up and I see this mountain of muscle staring back at me. I said, "No, we're not doing restraint training here today." Shocked, he stared at me. And that's the first thing. You see, there is a common misconception that PMVA is all about physical restraint. And the funny thing about this muscle man is that this gentleman was actually on a refresher course. That means he's walked away from his previous PMVA training with the mindset that PMVA is about restraint. Now think about that for a moment. If someone believes that PMVA is about restraint, how might that influence the way that they interact with and care for their service users? It's a worrying thought, but the reality is PMVA, which stands for Prevention and Management of Violence and Aggression. This course places its primary focus on prevention. It's about equipping you with the skills and the understanding that is needed to deal with service users and others in a way that de-escalates situation and ultimately solve potential problems before they escalate. The clue is in the name. Prevention comes first. PMVA. By the way, my name is Kunle. I inform and upskill professionals for personal mastery and exceptional work. So, what exactly is PMVA training? Well, at its core, PMVA is about equipping staff with the necessary skills to identify, to prevent, and to manage aggressive or violent behaviors in the workplace, which includes and is not limited to verbal and physical aggression. This is a widely recognized training approach, especially in fields where challenging behavior is common. In this video, we're going to explore PMVA training in depth. We'll cover what it is, we'll cover why it's so important, and what are the key topics that are included in a typical PMVA course. This will enable you to understand how it equips you with the knowledge and the skills that is needed to navigate challenging situations professionally, and how you can also do that with care and confidence. Starting with why PMVA is crucial. As I mentioned, PMVA stands for Prevention and Management of Violence and Aggression. The key is in the prevention. PMVA helps to ensure the safety of both the caregivers and also the people that they are supporting. In settings like health and social care, individuals may experience heightened emotions, mental health conditions, or cognitive impairment. And all this can unfortunately lead to aggression. But PMVA training provides strategies to handle these situations safely. PMVA training helps staff to recognize the early warning signs and to de-escalate situations significantly. Studies, by the way, have shown that structured PMVA training can lead to a marked reduction in aggressive incidents. Building staff confidence. When staff are trained with effective techniques, they feel more confident and capable in their roles, which, by the way, is extremely crucial for preventing harm as well as handling potential threats without escalating the situation further. This confidence helps staff to feel prepared and to manage challenging behavior, protecting those that you support. The training focuses on diffusing situations with minimal physical interventions. This person-centered approach is vital, particularly in mental health and social care, where aggressive behavior can stem from fear or confusion. Legal and ethical compliance. PMVA training ensures that staff understand the legal and ethical considerations of managing challenging and aggressive behavior. ensuring, however, that they are in compliance with laws like the Health and Safety at Work Act, Mental Health Act, and Mental Capacity Act. Regulatory bodies like the CQC also set standards for this training. So, what topics would you typically cover in a comprehensive PMVA course? The PMVA training covers a range of essential areas: understanding violence and aggression, which includes identifying the sources, the risk factors, and the impact of violence, along with recognizing the early signs like verbal aggression, physical agitation, pacing back and forth, tense body language, or a raised voice, communication, and de-escalation. A major focus is placed on effective communication skills. You learn verbal and non-verbal strategies. You learn active listening. You learn empathy and how to remain calm to diffuse tense situations before they actually escalate. And PMVA training highlights using communication to manage aggression and effective communication and conflict resolutions. Personal safety and breakaway techniques. Knowing how to keep a safe distance, how to recognize warning signs, and how to discreetly get help will be covered in your PMVA training. Breakaway techniques are crucial strategies to disengage safely from physical altercations or aggressive encounters, while at the same time you're minimizing harm. Physical intervention and restraint. While the emphasis is always on prevention and de-escalation, PMVA training also includes safe and appropriate physical methods for controlling and restraining individuals. If other methods fail, or if there is an imminent risk of harm, this is generally considered as a last resort. The PMVA training emphasizes understanding dynamic risk assessment, legal and ethical considerations, and safely applying techniques while you're managing distress. While PMVA training does cover safe and appropriate physical interventions, as a last resort, it's crucial to understand that a core principle that underpins this entire approach is restraint reduction. The emphasis is always on exploring and utilizing less restrictive options first. And this brings me back to the gentleman I mentioned earlier, who was so surprised to hear that restraint wasn't the primary focus of the training. His initial assumption sadly reflects a common misunderstanding. As the renowned physician and philosopher Albert Schweitzer said, example is not the main thing in influencing others. It is the only thing. If our initial approach as caregivers lean towards restraint, what message does that send to others? Effective PMVA training aims to shift that perspective. It empowers you with the skills to be that positive influence, demonstrating how to connect, how to communicate, and how to de-escalate situations with empathy and respect, making physical restraint a truly exceptional and last resort. This not only safeguards the dignity and well-being of the individuals that we're supporting, but it also cultivates a more supportive and therapeutic environment for everyone involved. Restraint reduction. PMVA training strongly promotes minimizing the use of physical restraints whenever possible, focusing on person-centered restrictive approaches. PMVA teaches non-physical intervention techniques like listening, talking, understanding, and negotiation, documentation and reporting. Accurate and timely reporting and documentation of incidents are vital for communication, continuity of care, following laws, and identifying trends to prevent future incidents. Trauma-informed care. PMVA training teaches professionals how to use trauma-informed practices by building a culture of respect and teamwork, as well as adapting approaches to individual needs to prevent re-traumatization and supporting challenging behaviors. This training helps to identify and address the root causes of challenging behaviors and uses person-centered approaches to support individuals. Now, while core PMVA training equips you with essential skills for managing challenging behavior, we believe that true effectiveness goes beyond just those techniques. That's why we place a significant emphasis on staff well-being and self-care. We recognize the inherent stress and potential for burnout in such a high-pressure environment like healthcare and social care. And we understand that your ability to provide excellent care is directly linked to your own well-being. Now, while not always a standard component of every PMVA course, we believe it's absolutely crucial. Think about it. You are there to care for and to support individuals who, in many cases, are facing significant challenges themselves. But as the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stressed, or if you're feeling unsupported, that inevitably impacts the quality of care that you can deliver. And that's why when you choose to register for your PMVA training with us, we go the extra mile. Think of it as an icing on the cake. You get exclusive access to our community. And this isn't just another forum. It's a space that is filled with personal and professional tips and strategies and resources that is specifically designed for healthcare professionals like yourself. We're committed to helping you stay well, to manage stress, and to effectively establish healthy boundaries, with the ultimate goal of helping you thrive in both your role and your personal life. Because when you're cared for, you're better equipped to pour out that crucial love, compassion, and care to those that you support. It's important to note that while there isn't one single piece of UK-wide legislation that mandates the PMVA training specifically for all healthcare and social care staff, several regulations and guidelines strongly recommend or they imply the need for such training in specific settings. For example, the Health and Safety Work Act 1974 places a duty on employers to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of their employees, which would include protecting them from foreseeable risks like violence and aggression. Providing appropriate training like PMVA is a key way to meet this duty. The Care Quality Commission, the CQC, in England sets standards that providers must meet. While they don't explicitly say mandate PMVA training, they expect staff to have the skills and the competence to keep people safe and to manage challenging behavior effectively. This necessitates training that aligns with PMVA principles. Similarly, regulatory bodies in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland are saying the same thing. The Mental Health Act in 1983 and subsequent amendments, they outline specific requirements that are related to the care and treatment of individuals with mental health conditions, which of course includes the use of restrictive practices. So PMVA training helps staff understand and follow these legal frameworks, emphasizing the least restrictive options. In fact, specific service types like forensic mental health care units, secure hospitals are more likely to have explicit requirements or strong recommendations for PMVA type training due to the inherent risks that is involved in such settings. So PMVA training provides a comprehensive approach to equipping professionals with the knowledge, with the skills, and with the strategies to effectively prevent de-escalate and manage instances of violence and aggression, ultimately contributing to a safer and more supportive workplace for everyone. If you work in a setting where you might encounter challenging behavior, exploring PMVA training could be a vital step for your safety and the safety of the people that you support. So the PMVA training is typically 3 days with a 1-day refresher annually. If you want to learn more about PMVA and this kind of training or find courses in your area, check out our website, orankan.com and kunle.eu. If you found this information helpful, kindly give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more insights into professional development and personal growth. I'll see you soon. Until then, care with compassion and keep your flag flying.